Hello. Welcome to Get Rich 101. I'm your host. I'm Sacred Rights. I am a survivor. I'm a survivor. I am a survivor. I survived a stroke that was very powerful. Only 17% of people survive this stroke. 17% of people. So I feel blessed. I feel blessed I'm doing this here today. And now let me hit you with some drum roll, and I can introduce the rest of the crew. Here we go. Marko, what's up, man?
Hey, Sekou, what's happening? What's happening, man? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Is DJ Shani joining us as well?
She should be. We spoke last night, so I'm believing she will be with us shortly.
Okay. All right. Well, great. So this will be the first time I've done 3 people on the show. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm definitely looking forward to a great conversation.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you could introduce yourself the same way, because I haven't done this before. You say your name and however you choose to talk about what you've come through. Like I said, I'm 17%. I'm trying to get mine right. I'm trying to get mine right so that it makes the same kind of impact. So let me hear you do your thing, bro.
Okay. I'm trying to follow you then. Yeah. I am Marko Nobles. I am a stroke survivor for the last 14 years.
14 years?
14
Has it been
years.
That long?
Yep.
Wow.
2011. Yep.
Wow.
2011. So for 14 years, I have been differently able as a result of having a stroke. So yeah. Yep.
That's well said. Well said. I'm gonna have to seal that. Yeah. Differently able. Yeah, I have to accept that. Because I'm still, you mentioned it last time that people don't really recognize my body doing something different, because by all looks, people looking at me, I look the same.
Right.
And yet I don't feel the same. So I've got to do different things. Like I've told you, I got to punch folks. I got to fist bump people.
Right.
And instead of shaking their hand, and I have to my right shoe was showing a tear, and
right.
And my fiance saw it. So she's like, I didn't know this, and then she found me new sneakers here in the place. I was like, it didn't occur to me that there were other sneakers here. That small click in my mind, my mind doing the right things. So that was really, really great that she got that. Yeah, man. So tell me about how you have changed something small like me. Like, I got to watch the ball of my toes is coming out of my shoe, and I got to do a fist bump. What's some small kind of way that you work through it?
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because you don't. Because for me, like you have like certain pains and stuff. I don't have pain, so a lot of
God bless you. Because I feel it every day. I have to fight through it every day. And let me just say this before you go on.
Yep.
I have been running for 860 days. And,
amazing.
And I tell you, when I get out there, I'm just leaning up against the side of the building. I can't do it, and I'm just trying to do something because I'm trying to fight the pain. But once I fight the pain enough to run, then I feel like I can fight the pain for the rest of the day. So,
right. No, I think for me is just kind of how I maneuver, looking at how I'm walking, looking at how I'm even in the house when I'm washing dishes. How do I maneuver differently using effectively one hand. I mean, I use my left side a little bit, but for the most part, I do everything, right-handed now. So, so with things like that, I need to adjust. Or even I'm trying to, bring something from the kitchen to the dining room, or how many trips I have to make, or how I can, maneuver and not make as many trips. So I may have to, how do I hold on to things? How do I use my fingers? How dexterous?
Yeah.
How do I use my dexterity, with my
Right.
fingers to hold multiple things? So, little things like that.
Yeah, man, you reminded me of something I haven't told anyone. So let me get this out. So my mom had a stroke at home. I had a stroke at home in Nashville. And eventually, after hospitals, I came home. And my mom would always stack things to go back into the kitchen after we've eaten, right? She stack everything up and take it back to the kitchen. And I was trying to use my right arm. My right arm, by the way, is arm that is not working so well. And so I would grab things, and then they would start shaking. They start shaking.
Yeah.
And she would try not to interfere, but try not to do it herself. She was like, and then it tripped me out. So I used to have to use it with both hands. I carry it with this hand, but this hand for safety.
Right.
For safety.
Right.
I was holding that hand, and I made it through without dropping a single piece of a single plate. I completed it without dropping a single plate. So bravo to me, because it was shaking.
Bravo to you. Yeah, bravo. Yeah, I remember that when I was early on, when I stand for a certain period of time, trying to stand in place for if I'm standing up. Like I remember a number of artists, musicians, friends did an event for me to support me, soon after my stroke, and it was a surprise. So they had me come out, and they did. It was a whole kind of like a mini tribute concert. And so at the end, I stood up to say something, but then I was, this was early on. I was, kind of shaking my leg. My left leg was like, you're standing too long. You're not gonna be able to make it. And Melissa, grabbed the chair and was like, just sit down so you could, finish this, so you don't have to fall over. So yeah, so it's very similar. It's like you're working up that stamina.
Yeah.
And with your affected side, yeah.
Yeah, you have to work at it every time. So, Pete, as a question for you.
Okay.
So, did Marko experience any type of pain shortly after his stroke?
No, Fee, I did not. I had no pain at all. Never had any pain.
Never had any pain?
Nope, never had any pain.
Wow.
It was just, it was just, I mean, I could feel stuff, and that was the concern, because my left side was paralyzed. Would I be able to feel anything? That's what the doctors always asked and stuff. But so I could feel on my left side, but there was never any pain.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So that was different than mine, because I felt the pain initially, but I assumed it would pass. It would pass. Now it's been 2.5 years, coming up 3 years, and I still feel the pain every day.
Just jumping in, I just got a message that DJ Shani, I think, is joined us. I don't know if you see her.
I see her. All right.
Okay.
Give her a drum roll, make her feel festive. All right, here we go.
Hey.
That was very funny. That was very funny.
The drum roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll let you introduce Marko. I'll let you introduce your guest.
Yes. So, Sekou and everyone, this is an amazing DJ. She's become my sister. She is an amazing person. She is a survivor as well. It is Stroke Awareness Month, and so that's what we're talking. But Sekou, as we were here last week, I shared with you a conversation I had with DJ Shani and thought it would be a great perspective to be able to talk to her and for the three of us to talk, because though she's not a stroke survivor, she is a survivor, cancer and MS. So she's had, double, and has multiple challenges and has overcome many of them as an amazing DJ in Austin, Texas. She is on every Friday night on KUTX, and those around the world can listen to her on KUTX.org or .com.
Org.
.org, the Groove Temple. So please check out DJ Shani. This is DJ Shani.
Man, I gotta Marko do my intros. That was great. That was great. So DJ Shani, how you feeling?
I'm well. I haven't done a live stream on this platform, so I felt like when your auntie would be like, "My remote's not working." I'm good though. I'm good. Thanks for inviting me. I'm always happy to shed light for people that are differently abled, and yeah.
So tell us about your challenges, really briefly.
Physically, mentally, what kind of?
I don't know what you got. What you got?
So I've had MS for maybe 9 years, maybe 11. I don't.
Multiple sclerosis.
Yes, so I have relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
Or MS.
Okay.
There's 4 kinds of MS, and I have the least abrasive. Fortunately, I'm never in pain. I don't think I've ever really had any pain connected to it. Just loss of control of limbs.
Really?
So like can't use arms, can't use legs. The optic nerve is affected, so vision can be an issue.
Okay.
What else?
You've given us quite a bit already. I mean, you've given us quite a bit. Yeah.
I mean, you keep saying ashe and all of that. So to those listening, and no alafia to you all. This is gonna sound real crazy. I'm all the hippies. That's not the crazy part, but I said to my ancestors, I said, "Hey guys, I got some things that I want to do, and that that I want to do,
Right.
And I don't need. If I have to have this, like, just make it calm, like."
Yeah.
If there's a lesson that I have to learn from this experience,
right.
Can you just be like a little nice about it?
A little nice about it, right.
And they're like, okay, cool. So I don't never have any pain. Like I said, I do walk with a cane sometimes, and when I'm feeling really good, I forget it. Yeah.
So I had a similar experience actually, because when I had my stroke, I could not speak. I could not speak and have anyone understand me. And I'm a grown person, but I'm trying to speak to people, try to communicate to people, and they would just look and look away. And so I wasn't communicating to them. And so I had a conversation. I got to have a conversation. I was like, all right, Lord, like, let's you and I talk. Let's you and I talk, because I can't talk to anyone else. And so that's how I became very familiar with God. And before then, I've been kind of, I don't know, like spiritual. But when I went through that, him being the only person that I could communicate with, that really shot me up in terms of my spirituality. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it without that. without him. Yeah.
One of the things that I should mention about Shani as well, amongst all of her many incredible qualities, she is also multilingual. She is a world traveler. You lived in France for a while. Did I have that right, Shani? You lived in France for a while.
I lived in Paris for a year, correct?
Yeah. So I mean, Shani is amazing, and and we've had conversations, as you and I have had, Sekou, about one, making space for ourselves in this differently able space, and then how you have to encourage people to make space for you without them having to feel like they need to do something for you.
Yeah.
And I think that is really important, especially the further you get along in this journey. And Shani, when Shani and I started talking, that became at least a connection for me with her. That here's somebody dealing with something similar. Obviously not stroke surviving, but in this differently able space. How differently can we navigate it? And what are our commonalities, and what are some of the things that we need to be aware of?
Right.
For others.
Right. Did you have any challenges with did you have any conversation with God or something? Anything with your, I don't know how to say it, but Shani and I just spoke about our differences in communication with the Lord. Did anything happen for you that's similar?
You know what? I don't. There's not a particular time, because I've always been more of a spiritual than religious person. As both of you know, I happen to have spirit around me through Rev Melissa. So there's always that.
Rev Melissa.
Girl. But no, I you know what? I didn't, other than God, please get me through this. Other than that, there was no change or shift in that perspective. It was really, the change and shift was really focused on living and navigating in this process. My relationship and all has been the same.
Okay, so Fee King is my fiance. She's down the hall. She's sitting in the hall. Well, she said, this question is for DJ Shani. Did you ever ask God why? If so, at what point did you make peace with it?
No, I don't ask why. I don't ask why. I don't ask why. Yeah. I know that whatever has happened to me in my life thus far, I mean, I'm a spring chicken still, okay?
That's right. Let us know.
I just turned 47 last week or something.
Okay.
No. I come from Southern people. Both of my grandmothers are from Louisiana and Mississippi. One is Catholic, one is Pentecostal. If I knew how to speak in tongues, I would have ended Pentecostal with yep, ba ba. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Right. Marko, have you
very much in cloaked in religion?
Yeah.
Very much so.
Right.
So I never grew up in an environment like, why me? Yeah. God, why me? I always grew up in an environment like, well, I know you're going to get me through this. I don't know what this is.
Right.
But I know you're going to get me through this.
Yeah. So, Marko, same question. Did you experience a moment of why or something like that?
I maybe early on, there was a why, but it became clear to me very quickly that there was a reason why I have to go through this. You know, whether it's for others to see that you can still, keep going, move forward, whether it was, to be able to be of support to others as they're going through it. It was very apparent that this was meant to be for me. So after the initial, wow, this is happening, this is something, then it was, there's got to be a reason for this, because to a degree I'm front facing with people, whether it's doing the radio, whether it's doing events like Harlem Week or whatever. So people are going to see me, and there's going to be some type of interaction that has to happen with it. So it was really kind of, I was like, well, there must be, I'm chosen to go through this journey because I'm the person that needs to go through this journey for others.
Right. That's well said. Well said. So Phoenix asked me the same question for the first time yesterday, and I was like, wow. Why? And I think for me, like you, Marko, I was moving with my head down, just trying to get through it. And that's how I ended up running in a marathon, like 4 months after my big stroke. And I ran a marathon, and I was just trying to get through it. And then toward the end, this guy came into the race. He just walked he's wearing street clothes. He walked into the race and came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, I really respect what you're doing." And I was like, "Who are you? Like, how did you what is going on?" And that's what really gave me a glimpse of other people looking back at me, because I was just doing myself, just trying to get through. But that sense of other people looking at me from the outside gave me some hope for the turnaround. Yeah, the turnaround, I guess I'll call it
that. Yeah, and I'll turn that around to Shani, because Shani is also front facing. As a DJ, as a radio personality, but a little bit different question. Not so much why and the purpose, but the fact that you continue to be front facing, and in a differently able space. How do you feel a different sense of what you're doing? Because you've been DJing, before MS and everything, but does it give you a different sort of, I don't know if purpose is the right word, but
before you answer that, so DJ Shani, was there a break? Like, you were doing this before. How much of a break was there before you went back to becoming a DJ? Like how much time did you have to take off?
Maybe 2 months.
Wow.
Because I couldn't use the left side of my body.
Yeah, I couldn't use the right side.
Similar to people who have strokes. Yeah, I couldn't use this at all. No, do this.
Wow. Yes.
What? Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I can do that. But I couldn't even this armpit, buckwheat in a headlock. This one, because I could use this arm. I couldn't do anything.
Really?
No, not at all. Brushing hair was kind of lopsided and okay. But I kept at it. I'm a former athlete also, so I remembered muscle memory. So I used to play soccer and softball, and I used to box, and I used to fence also. So I was very active, and I was like, okay, stop worrying about other people. Can we just walk 2 feet?
Really?
Okay, I'm not gonna pick up that bag of records, but can we pick up the headphone bag? Can we
Wow.
pick up the headphone bag with like a little flash drive in it? Can we do that? Oh, okay.
You
So,
did it yourself without a physical therapist? Just you?
oh yeah, just me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I'm real southern like that.
Right.
Okay, like no, I'll figure it out. And if I can't, then I'll go to somebody. I've only had 2 PT sessions so far.
Wow.
Yeah. But no, going back to purpose, like I didn't even think about it back then, but right now, I'm like, you have to see me. You have to see me. There's so many Black women here in Austin that come up to me, just recently diagnosed with multiple sclerosis,
Wow.
or their partners were just diagnosed, right? So I didn't even think about it back then, but I think it's pretty cool that NPR gave me an actual opportunity, and I took that. So I was like, give me that, give me that.
Right.
Give me the opportunity, and I always talk about being differently abled and being Black. I'm the only like Black woman in the station, so I guess with time, um, it became apparent to me that okay, this is since I'm all about representation, right? So I love Black people. This is my hierarchy. Come at me if you want, but this is my hierarchy. Black people, women, the differently able. That's how I go. Like, who do I want to? Right?
Well, give it to me again.
Black people and women and differently abled.
Yeah,
That's my
right.
hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
Do I have non-Black people in my? Absolutely. Is my partner non-Black? Absolutely. That's what's important to me. That order. When you deal with people that have no idea about your disease or your condition, like I feel like Black people, women, and the differently able need to be focused on. Anyway, I didn't really, to answer your question, I never thought it was a purpose. No. I just need to get from the couch
Yep.
to the door
Yep.
and not fall down.
Yep. Big step.
Big deal. And I feel like having MS or being diagnosed with MS and thyroid cancer forced me to look in. And then I started to clean up my metaphorical, mental, and physical insides.
Yeah.
And then, okay, if the house is good, okay, then we can help others. But we got to make sure that the insides are good, and the mind is good, the body is good, the soul is good. Kitty cat.
Kitty cat. Yeah. You stop right over through.
Sometimes it happens. They get right in the camera. I know Melissa goes there all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. The cat got to be in the shot.
Yeah, that's Nelson. I forgot my train of thought now. Yeah.
I was talking about purpose and how I wasn't like, I'm going to do a thing. No, I just had to figure out how to walk.
Yeah. Yeah. And just do. And so you talked about not falling down, and that was a big thing for me because the right side of my body wouldn't work. It was your left side. My right side wouldn't work. So this is my right side now. I'm not quite as smooth as you, but I'm getting there. And so it still hurts. My my right side when I move it, but I was constantly trying to get somewhere without falling. And Marko, you said something last week when we talked about last week that made me feel better about falling. And I forget what you said, but could you restate what you said about falling down?
I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think the gist of it was falling down. In our case, having a stroke, it allows you to learn from it, because at least like when I fell, I only fell once. I haven't fallen again. I fell, hit my head, had to get stitches, the whole bit. It's like, well, we had to figure out a way not to do that again. And your body course corrects. Every time I've tripped, I'm able to catch myself somehow.
Right.
You become a little bit more aware. I'm a little bit more aware of making sure I'm not dragging my left leg.
Right.
I know if I'm tired, I may drag it a little bit. So if I feel myself getting tired, it's like, okay, let me be extra intentional about lifting my leg and setting it down.
Yep.
Yeah. So a funny story. Today I was running today before the show, and I was watching people turn around to look at me. They're walking ahead of me. They kept turning around and look at me. And I was like, how is everybody catching me, turning around to look at me? And then I realized that my right foot was dragging. I was running like this. And I was like, oh, so now I gotta even it out.
Yeah, the course correct.
And that's what I noticed, that I changed sneakers. I changed sneakers this morning. And so that I have to compensate more for my right side to bring my right side up. And so it's just natural. And it took me the longest time to figure it out, but I figured it out today. And so now I know that I've got to balance my steps, Yeah. So this is a quick, funny story. Yeah.
I mean, you notice your body a lot more once you go through.
Yeah. You notice everything about your body.
Yeah, all the little things. I mean, even like I think here's a little thing that we were talking about earlier, Sekou, in terms of noticing, like, and it's also related to what Shani said about going inside out. I don't eat red meat and pork. I never really ate a lot of pork, but I stopped eating red meat. You've met a number of my friends, my guys from college. We go to the Black college football game here every year. Tailgate.
You guys go to
MetLife Stadium, at MetLife Stadium. So we do the tailgate with the burgers and the hot dogs and the sausages. And when I had my stroke for the first, for like a year and a half after, most of what I ate was chicken and fish, because in the hospital and rehab, that's all they're gonna feed you. They're not gonna really feed you a lot of steak, burgers, whatever. So that this day when we went out to the game, and I'm eating all the things, everything, whatever we put on the grill, I'm eating it. Wow. But I realized I felt so heavy at the end of the day. I was like, oh, this is. I just felt just heavy, sluggish. I was like, it's gotta be the food. So so from that point, and it was cold turkey. It was like so it's been like 10, 12 years since I've had red meat.
Yeah, right.
Because it's harder to digest in your system. But I didn't really feel it until that particular day. Because again, now you feel different things because your body is going through a little bit of a change. So that is something that I noticed and then had to correct that.
Wow, that's good. So Shani, you have anything any small things? Well, I know you do. But what are some of the small things that you've had to adjust?
I stopped eating gluten for like 7 years.
What?
I stopped eating gluten. I've been gluten-free for 7 years. Back when everything tasted like cardboard. So I'm a real one. Now everything tastes fantastic. But also, if anybody's like, "Oh, I can't eat gluten," Whole Foods. We don't work for Whole Foods. They should be paying us. By the way, okay.
Right.
They have this gluten digestive that a friend of a friend said something about. I take two of those before I eat. I can eat all the pieces. All
Really?
the pieces. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what's in it,
Right.
but it totally works.
Okay.
But wheat leads to inflammation, and inflammation is one of the culprits or the bad things about MS. Besides having, lesions and so gluten free, sleep.
Yeah. Sleep for sure. Sleep. I
Yeah.
take naps all the time. I'm taking naps all the time. Yeah, sure. Sleep.
Yeah, and especially, I just want to say this to anybody who's recently diagnosed with MS. Just it's gonna be okay. You probably need a snack and a nap.
Yeah.
If you can't get to the hospital, if you can't get infusions, like just slow it down.
Take a nap.
You probably just need a snack and or a meal.
Yeah.
So naps are they're my jam.
Naps are really important. Let's hear it for all of us. Naps.
All for naps.
All of us. Yeah. So we're over time. So I just want to thank you guys for coming in and being a part of the Stroke Awareness Month and the Awareness Month, the Differently Abled Awareness Month. I really appreciate it.
We may have created a new thing right now, Differently Abled Awareness Month.
Differently Abled Awareness Month. Yeah, right? All right. So, all right, folks. I'll see you guys later, and thanks for being here. And remember that now is better than perfect. Later, guys.
Bye, guys.